Welcome to Brainstorm MTG. I'm ELD, and this is Fast Effect Double Speed Magic the Gathering. Now from ELD's Time Vault Games in Bellingham, Massachusetts. It's part of our first old school event ever here. It was a very fun time, and we are definitely doing another one. I believe May 18th is the next one scheduled. Go ahead and check out our Facebook page to be sure of that. But I've got Keeper versus James on an Underworld Dreams combo deck. We will see how this goes before the tournament. Helped brainstorm some ideas for his sideboard. Trying to be a good sport, let him actually take a look through what I was playing as well. So we do know kind of what to expect. And mulling down to 6, it looks like, on my end. Leading out with Underground Sea, nothing too explosive. Black Vice. And taking 1 during the upkeep from the Vice. Mulligan. Getting me outside of range pretty quick. And now Library joins the party. We'll see if we can get back up to 7 cards, or if that's even going to be preferable. Already 2 blue. So no real need to jam additional lands. Underworld Dreams worth a counter spell there. Probably going to try and draw a lot of cards this game. Underworld Dreams would kind of ruin that. And oh, another counter spell. Upgraded from the last time. Went from FWB to FBB. Even the good stuff in the binders, alpha and beta. If you're ever looking for stuff like that, come on down. And this one, is this, let's see here if we can get a good look at this card. A little bit of glare. Demonic Tutor. Looks like it just grabs Ancestral. That should put Library back online. I believe that's, is that a Mazavith up front? It might be. That's not going to be of much use. Mind Twist about to come in here. Library will be able to tap to draw during the end step. Ooh, but there's a balance lurking in James's hand. Will he be playing that? And there we go. Balance. Might as well tap to draw. Looks like going to be able to keep 1 card. Oh, no, I'm going to be happy with Counterspell. So just retaining a Counterspell. Red Blast as a pickup. That can't be a Red Blast. Not main deck. City of Brass adds to Swords to Plowshares, drawing back up towards 7 cards. Soul Ring adding to a ton of mana on James' side. He can certainly cast whatever the heck he wants. That Chaos Orb just kind of hanging out waiting for a target. Three mana Time Twister with Library on board. That's a decision. Which deck do you believe in more? And actually going to not counter that. And be happy enough to draw up to 7 and leave counter magic up. Hope to snag another counter back in hand off of these 7. Stop anything from being too punishing. There's no Underworld Dreams down yet, so draw 7 not hugely punishing. Black Vice. Looks like some acceleration in hand, and the Howling Mine. And Disenchant on the Black Vice. So Howling Mine looking suspect now. Going to be drawing some extra cards off of it. One of my favorite things back in the day was taking multiple turns in a row with my opponent's Howling Mine out. Things like Time Walk, Regrow Time Walk feel really good when you get those extra draws. And what a nice way to finish extra turns with destroying your opponent's Howling Mine before they even get a card off of it. Always feels bad giving your opponent the extra card. We'll see what the disenchant is used for here. 5 mana twist. Gonna look to get rid of 4 cards. Dark Ritual into Psyblast. And that is gonna hit the next 2. 2 mana up. Can keep the counterspell mana up or can disenchant the Howling Mine. It's a decision. And disenchanting Howling Mine. So James gonna have 1 turn to top deck here. Chaos Orb being flipped and it misses. Tapping to draw. James did not draw it. That was, I gotta believe, the turn to get something done. From here on out, gonna be drawing 2 cards a turn with Library or JMD Tome. Or both. Draw some extra. Oh, Shatter. That was his 1 card in hand. A little bit of a setback. Not going to be able to tap to draw here. Another Factory. Can't be good. Brain guys are leaving 2 blue and a Library up. Gonna go 1 more blue. Gonna leave Factory for applying the beats. Have not played a land. Time Walk, tap to draw, Sapphire. And this is getting pretty graphic. Soul Ring going to enable these 2 factories to turn sideways and really set a 3-turn clock. Practically an empty grip versus just all the goodness. 8 cards in hand, tap to draw, counterspell the Wheel of Fortune, shutting off any real hope of James getting back into that game. And that is the deck grinding it out. So Keeper, or the deck, there's a lot of different names that kind of circulate around the 5-color control decks kind of this era. Called Keeper once Elemental Augury was introduced in Ice Ages. That was a card that would allow you to keep your opponent away from their cards, similar to how Jace the Mind Sculptor does it now. You basically look at the top 3 cards of their library each turn and rearrange them, effectively keeping your opponent off of any business spells ever, or in some occasions, any mana ever. That could happen where you had gone a severe mana denial route and then you just keep them off of ever getting mana for their spells. Looks like Blue Elemental Blast, one of the few cards not making the cut here. Not that it wouldn't have some targets. Winds of Change and Wheel of Fortune, both very dangerous. And I believe we also saw some Burn, so just not enough to sideboard out. James, I believe, almost entirely creatureless. Factory. Very good card at counteracting other factories. Defensively, a single factory can hold off an opposing factory, being able to tap to draw, tap to pump after blocks. So sometimes factory is the best answer to opposing factories. These are Atlantic rules, so factory a little bit safer than it is in other parts of the world. Atlantic rules only allows for a singleton strip mine, and so far has not really been an issue. Before the start of the event, I did start pulling cards for 12 Post, or Urzatron, I should say, which also gets a playset of Mishra's Workshops if you want them. And may go that route for the next old school event. We'll see. I think I needed some more Su-Chis. That guy does a lot of work, especially with JMD Tome. And Tundra, Ancestral, Target Me, Pearl has been dropped. There's a solid upkeep effect. Library on the other side. We'll see who draws better. Time Walk off to a good start. Emerald, another factory, and a 4-mana tome. So we're both set up to draw an extra card per turn here. Mine's going to cost 4 mana. James is going to cost holding cards back in hand. Even if he does draw a bunch of acceleration, he's not going to be able to commit it to the board super fast if he's going to want to keep drawing off of library at 7 cards. That could prove punishing with a card like Mind Twist. Being able to wipe out his entire hand. My list is running him to Taurox, which would also be very good here. Potentially knocking James a couple of turns away from 7 cards in hand, giving me more turns to draw additional hymns. Things developing very well on the keeper side of the board here. Bunch of counter spells in hand. JMD Tome. Tapping to draw perhaps one last time. And Blue Blast, a low enough price to pay. Oh, so I guess some of the Blue Blasts did make it in. Blue Blast versus Red Blast. A battle literally as old as the game itself. See if that ends up coming up. So far, Shatter. Handily countered for just 1 blue mana. Lotus. And a Scrubland. Scrubland feels pretty bad in this deck. Ooh, and another Tome. That is potentially going to start to get pretty graphic. Going to be outdrawing, 3 cards a turn on my side of the board. Maybe 2 cards with library on the other side, but that is a maybe because it's not going to be that hard to pull him off of library. The right card. Let's see what comes of this. Counterspell and Disenchant still in hand. Mind Twist being fired off. It's almost a question of whether or not that's fine or not. You can tap home to draw after it resolves. How much worse off is it to let that Mind Twist totally resolve? There's 2 cards that can be played out of hand. Counterspell and Disenchant. And just going to make the safer play here. Red Blast on the Counterspell. Disenchant on the Soul Ring. Going down to 0 cards, but can bounce right back up to 3 with this pair of tomes. JMD Tome. Forget who it's actually named after. Their initials are definitely JMD. A couple of cards like that. And a phonetic spelling of people's initials, immortalized as magic cards. Underworld Dreams. In response, tap to draw twice. Couple of freebie cards here. Anything moving forward, as long as that Underworld is down, is going to cost an extra point of life per card drawn. Very dangerous with cards like Wheel of Fortune and Time Twister. And there's a Hymn to Torok. Talked about it before. Now we're seeing it in action. 6 cards going down to 4. Big difference in between that and going up to 7 on the draw step, and then tapping library to draw going up to 8. It's essentially denying him 2 cards per turn, or an extra card per turn moving forward. And it's just time to go beat. Apparently, it's come to that. Underworld Dreams kind of forcing the issue and taking a point gladly off of Tome to get the extra card in hand. Another Winter Factory. That's 3 Winter Factories. Tough to argue with that kind of aggression. Maze of Ith, not really the best answer to Factory. You untap it, you can always tap to pump one of the other attackers. That's exactly what happens. 5 damage coming in. Mazavith only saving 1 point of damage a turn at this point. He's at 6, facing down 5 damage. Gladly taking another point at 14. Underworld Dreams, not too much of a concern. Much safer to try and get some counters in. Oh, and the 4th Winter Factory. And it looks like untapping. Going to be time to pump. Going to 6, and that is going to do it. So, solid match there. Sometimes your opponent draws all 4 factories, and that is enough to get there. All right, well, thanks for watching.